Hey, hello and welcome to another episode of Sci-Fi Saturday where we are playing Fallout. Last time we explored the Brotherhood of Steel's bunker at Lost Hills. And this time we shall be exploring the Mariposa Military Base. Now, there are multiple ways to approach this. There's the Go Guns Blazing approach. There's an approach that I have not prepared for because it requires sync that we don't have in this game, this playthrough. There's two other approaches which I will show now. So, firstly, we have the peaceful approaches, I guess. So we don't have a weapon drawn and we dismiss our companions. We can approach the super mutant at the gate, and he says, "You had best be surrendering." We can start combat. Say, "Die, spawn from hell." We could go, "I've come to talk to your master," or we could try to convince them that we are a special mutant on a mission for their master. Let me pass or face the consequences. I suppose to get in peacefully, we go for that last one. And he says, fine, I guess. Maybe you better see a lieutenant. And we can head in and attempting the door. The door is locked. A security code is required to unlock it. So if we sneak, we can look in this mutant's inventory and we can get the tape from them. And reading the tape, although this tape is damaged beyond use, there is some writing scratched on the plastic. Code 010597. And trying that code on the door. It unlocks the door. We can enter. We can see super mutants to the side here. And head in the other way. There's super mutants there as well. He has the similar options as before. You stop. Me take to lieutenant. Come peacefully or die. We can once again say, I'm a special mutant on a mission for your master. Let me pass or face the consequences. And we can quite peacefully get past them. Still, we can continue to explore, avoiding the large swarm of super mutants in the what appears to be barracks. And we can see what the computers say. Using our science skill. Reprogramming complete. Initializing voice communication subsystems. Initializing personality subsystem. Click. How may this terminal be of service? Who or what are you? This terminal is an artificial intelligence. This terminal is part of a WLAN matrix network to optimize remote unit operations. What are the remote units that you control? This terminal is responsible for the operation of all General Atomics International industrial robots in this facility. Please be more specific. The style of industrial robots are commonly referred to as RoboBrain. Click. General Atomics International has the finest industrial robots in the world. Buy 2 or more General Atomics International robots and save. Special deal on Mr. Handy bottles. Click. Advertising applet terminated. What programs are running? Current applications are Facility Maintenance, version 2.1. Movement, version 4.8b. Repair, version 0.8a. Pest Control, version 1.4. Hearts, version 1. And Sensors, 76. And we can terminate movement. Attempt to terminate. Click. System error. Failure to terminate application. Delete rights not available. We can attempt to adjust parameters on movement. Current application. Movement. Version 4.8b. Current settings. Maximum. Half rate. Minimum. Change to maximum. Half rate. Or minimum. Can change to minimum. Program parameter change. Current applications are etc. etc. Can adjust the sensor parameters. Current application sensors 76. Current setting full / minimum. Change to full or minimum. Can change to minimal. And attempting the modify pest control. Current application pest control version 1.4. Current setting. Click. Unauthorized. Change to click. All. None. Small living. Large living. Or unauthorized. And I assume we would be classed as unauthorized, so we can go for no pests. And that's it for the programs it's running. Interacting with it again. We can make a strange sound. This terminal is an artificial, and it goes back to what it said before. We can ask, do you know what this location is? This is the classified. Click, click. We can go override, continue request. Click. This is the FEB production control facility. This terminal online 2074. Final pre-production process 2075. It is currently under final construction and is due to open 2078. Do you know what FEV is? FEV is Forced Click Evolutionary Virus, a product of the Livermore/Bronson laboratories. It is designed to increase the genetic complexity of a DNA/RNA series in a shorter period of time. Do you know what date it is? Affirmative. Terminal date is February 2nd, 2077. That date is incorrect. Please recalibrate. Correcting. Click. Error. Attempting self-diagnostics. Click. Click. Error. Fatal system error. System corrupted. Attempting recompilation. Long balls. Terminal. Click. Error in recompilation. Click. There is no response. So we can continue to explore. We have the aforementioned robot brains. We have a series of boxes which don't contain anything. And we can see an elevator with a force field in front. Going through it, we take damage, but we aren't stopped, so we can continue through. And there are 3 floors we can access. Going to the 2nd floor. We have a other red force field which we can walk through, take some damage. Looking at what we have here. We have what looks to be a series of barracks, so probably best to avoid that. We have a other red force field. We can walk through. I have a feeling Dogmeat is not going to survive this entire journey. Can go through, and we see what seems to be sort of a medical bay. Can interact with the computers. But the system seemed to be in well, a reboot status. So we can enter the medical bay to see if there's any lockers. There is. In the locker we have some right away and some stim packs. Now that I know, can you use them in combat a whole lot more efficiently? It should be a whole lot easier to deal with. Superman here doesn't seem to. We see a mutant with a phenomenally small cranium. Gonna attempt to speak with it. No one go in room. So we clearly aren't going in that room. So we can continue getting damage from the force fields. And Dogmeat gets disintegrated by one of them. Can explore. It seems to be a sort of storeroom with robo-brains inside. You have a small corridor leading to more mutants. Well, the barracks that we saw mutants at. And no one seems to really mind us actually going through here. But the door is locked. So sneak in just to have that chance that we don't actually get seen. Can attempt to pick the lock. The lock is beyond your ability to pick. So we are not good enough to pick a lock. Can search for lockers. So we have stim pack and pulse grenade. We have 5mm armor piercing and some caps. We have some caps and some more stim packs. Some 40mm armor piercing. Some more weld caps and some small energy cells. Some 10mm jacket hollow point. More bolt caps. A sledgehammer and a club. Some rockets, .223 full metal jackets, and some microfusion cells. A knife and 2 frag grenades. Some bottle caps and stim pack. So we can return to the elevator. And we can head down to floor 3. Going through, you can enter corridor opposite. And we run into some mutants. I'm on a special mutation for your master. And they say, okay, move along. So, in here we have a locker in which there's nothing. What else did we expect? Then we see a large empty room which doesn't really have anything in it. We can continue down the corridor. We see a sign on the elevator door that says it's out of order. So we can continue exploring. We see a huge mutant. I know approaching this one makes it hostile. So we can get closer. Group of mist, so we can retaliate. And the mutants that we first saw are alerted. And yet somehow the mutant which is down here isn't. Since we are currently in combat, we have to slowly make our way. And from one of the cells, we see Sarah. But we don't want to attack a human. Oh, we missed the super mutant we were aiming for, and we killed Sarah. You kind of was getting suspiciously close though. And we die. Yeah. Well, luckily there was only one more floor to explore, which I should be able to do fairly quickly. Okay. So, the other conversation routes we had were entering combat. Yeah. So, entering combat, doing a speech check to get past, or we could go, I've come to talk to your master. Now, this is going to be a bit weird, but I'm going to go for this option. But I'm going to basically do what the speedrunners do. Because there's one more floor to explore, which we weren't able to get to, because the elevator was past that super mutant that killed us. But still, we can continue. Go, I've come to talk to your master. Good, come with me. No laugh type stuff. Okay, let's go. And we get teleported, and we can run away, sort of ignoring the conversation. But we shall explore it momentarily. This is more of a explore the rest of the options before anything happens. So we have the room with the mutant that we were rudely interrupted by. We have what appears to be where more robo-brains will be. We see a corridor, which, although dark, we can see as an elevator, which probably leads to the elevator that was out of order. Possibly. I don't know for certain. And it doesn't seem to be in the right place to be. But I must check. Yes, but it's the same out of order elevator. Still, we can continue this way. See a sort of small barracks with super mutants down there, and an other elevator. And in here, we see somewhat familiar looking people, sort of. We see Children of the Cathedral technicians, and through a window we can see what seems to be sort of vats. The Children of the Cathedral don't seem to be up for much of a fight, luckily. Interacting with one of the computers, we hear a over the loudspeakers, "Warning! Intruder alert!" Can attempt to use the computers. Access granted. Command. Can set the base to alert status, which it sort of already is. We can search logs. Invalid command. Enter input session. So we can look at Gray. Download log of Richard Gray. Yes. We have Yarsky. And bad data encountered. Command. There's Maxon. We can download the log of Captain Maxon. And there's Anderson, which is also bad data encountered. And we also have a series of security codes, which we can attempt to hack the firewall to get more data. Display security code, encryption table, invalid command, and input session. But first, before we try that again, can have a read of the logs. So we have Richard Gray, audio diary. I'm dying. I need to get this down before the pain overwhelms me. I can't believe I was finally able to drag myself out of that vat. The slime did not affect me, but I nearly drowned. I don't know what happened to Harold. He was standing right next to me when the crane knocked me into the vat. He must have been killed. Or he could have tried to help me. Francine is dead, killed by one of those robots. I have no idea how much time has passed. I was able to hack the computer to turn off the robots and record this, but my mind is slipping away. There's much pain. The green slime that I was immersed in is the source of all the mutations we trace to here. My skin is to fester and peel. In other areas is bubbling and starting expelling a green mucus-like substance. Some days the pain is almost horrible. I can actually walk a few steps again. It seems inconceivable that I dragged myself all the way up here from the vat room. Strangely, I'm actually feeling stronger, though I'm still in a lot of pain. Everything seems to be getting smaller. I think I consumed one of the mutated things scurrying around here today. Before I knew what was happening, some sort of tendril had sprung from my stomach and covered the poor creature. As soon as it sucked the rodent into my guts, I could actually feel its mind. I think there is the very real possibility that I'm slowly going insane and can no longer differentiate between what is real and what is a hallucination. And maybe I'm still slowly dying in the vat and I've imagined all this. Things are becoming more clear to me every day. This toxin has actually improved my mind. I feel that I can understand even the most complex philosophical questions simply and directly. It's as If all the layers of artifice have been stripped away, I wonder what would happen if I submerged an animal in the vats for a prolonged period of time. Would it grow awareness? The strangest thing has happened to the animals. They actually become smarter, more aware of their surroundings. I dipped a dog and a rat at the same time today, and they were fused together. It's not quite two creatures anymore, but it's more than one. Perhaps this is the future, a coming together of different creatures in some sort of harmonious unity. I no longer consume the different animals I create simply for sustenance. I become the instrument through which unity will be achieved. I am so much more than a human being now. It is time to bring others into the glory that is the unity. A lost soul has finally strayed into my home. I was so surprised I consumed him before dipping. A mistake I shall not make again. His mind was so primitive as to be repulsive to my refined cognitive abilities. I began to modify myself to be more pleasing to the unity by injecting small doses of the virus into my body. The slime in the vats is a man-made virus called the fourth evolutionary virus. This information was acquired from my newly grown Neuralink with the base computer. The few wanderers that have found their way here have been a disappointment to me. They can't seem to mutate correctly. The best I've been able to create are some big and dumb mutants. Most can recall nothing from before I initiated them into the wondrous unity. I only feed on them for fuel now. Their minds are nothing to me. O glorious creator, I succeeded in spreading the complete joy of unification to another soul. Unlike the others, his total radiation count was low. I believe this is the factor we have been overlooking all this time, as if it seems the conversion is more successful in the cases with less radiation damage. I have never known such glory as I felt when taking his mind into our own. We are beginning to create an army dedicated to unifying the wonderful diversity of life. We have trained them to continue our work here while we search out more populated areas to take into ourselves. We are beginning to feel the limitations of a body that is mobile. We must find a permanent home, with a greater store of knowledge, and a steady supply of biomass. We have stopped increasing ourselves until we can find this new unification center. When we have arrived, we will continue to grow and feed until we have brought peace and unity to the entire world. And we can read Captain Maxon's diary. October 10th, 2077. I, Roger Maxon, Captain, serial number 072389, have started this log because it doesn't look good for any of us. And I'd like for people to know what really happened here. All hell broke loose when we finally discovered that the scientist bastards were up to. The colonel has locked himself in his office and seems to be having some sort of breakdown. Men are screaming for blood, looking to me for answers, and I'm not quite sure what to do. Someone has to do something, though, before this place sinks into an anarchist bloodbath. October 12th, 2077. Every time we get a report from higher up, things get worse here. The war is going in a very bad direction, and this place is about to go into full mutiny, with all the chaos that entails. I stopped one of the men from executing a scientist today, and demanded that we interrogate them to find out what their orders were. October 13th, 2077. I killed a man today. I was interrogating Chief Scientist Anderson, and he was giving me the full details of their inhuman experiments. He said his orders came from government, but I didn't buy it. He started screaming about how he was following orders, how he was a military man, and I just shot him. I tell myself it was to keep him from causing a few mutiny among the men, but I'm not so sure. October 15th, 2077. I tried again to speak to the colonel through the door, but he seemed to have completely lost touch with reality. I broke down the door with several of the men just in time to watch him blow his head off. Right before he pulled the trigger, he said he was sorry. October 18th, 2077. By killing the egghead, I seem to have confirmed my position as leader of the men. They followed me without question now. Interrogations invariably end up being executions. Shalman held out the longest. The end result was the same. Her arguments about her orders were a bit too specific to be completely made up. I'm getting a real bad feeling in my gut about how this is all going to end up. I don't even lie to myself anymore about my reasons for executing the scientists. October 20th, 2077. I finally replied to the outside world over our radio. I don't know why they never sent anyone here to see what was happening when we stopped responding to their transmissions. It doesn't make any sense. Well, they'll come now. I declare that ourselves succeeded from the Union. They remember Jefferson Davis. What will history say about me? October 22nd, 2077. What the hell is going on? We declared ourselves to be in full desertion from the army and no longer under the government's command. What's happened? Nothing. Something bad is coming down. October 23rd, 2077. Can't believe those bastards finally did it. Damn them all to hell. They finally let the A-bomb fly. We were right in the middle of trying to pry the real story out of von Felden when we completely lost contact. I have a feeling the research center was hit hard. I don't know why. It's called a gut feeling. It seems inconceivable that they were not targeted. I'm sure China will make up for their oversights real soon. Luckily, we had moved our families from outside into the facility the day before yesterday. We do not know if the fallout has reached the area. October 25th, 2077. Sergeant Planter volunteered to go outside today to take specific readings on the atmosphere. It seems the radiation has not spread this far. Since he was wearing his power armor, there was no threat to him from radiation. But if he had been exposed, he would have had to be exiled. We don't have adequate decontamination facilities here. October 26, 2077. I convinced the men that we should bury the scientists. I don't know why. Perhaps it was to ease my conscience. I finally started to believe their stories when the last one was dying. My God, what have I become? October 27, 2077. We're leaving this godforsaken place today. I'm leaving the exodus to the old government bunker at Lost Hills. I'm leaving this log behind to be burned when this place goes in the next exchange. Who knows? Maybe someone will find it someday. So, the Maxon who founded the Brotherhood of Steel was here before he went to Lost Hills. Interact with the computer again, and we can look at the security codes again. Successfully hacking it into the encryption table, we can see the possibilities of what the different codes do. We can initiate a 1-minute silent self-destruct sequence. We can initiate a 30-second self-destruct sequence and set base to alert. We can set the base to an alert status. We can initiate a 3-minute silent self-destruct sequence. Or we can initiate a 3-minute self-destruct sequence and set base to alert. Probably best to attempt that 3-minute silent self-destruct sequence. It's executing. And we have 300 seconds to get away from here. So we can head to the elevator, which will take us to the 3rd floor. We have 283 seconds left. With the knowledge that there's a mutant beyond this force field. Well, he initially speaks to us. So, a human, this is very interesting. You'll come with me to the lieutenant, or you perish right here. I mean, if we say, okay, I give up, we get teleported back to where it was take us to your master. We can say, never. We enter combat. Luckily, nothing else is well, enraged. But we get spoken to by Sarah. Oh my god, you killed him! We could be mean and say tough luck, but he was my enemy. I had to kill him. You didn't have to kill him. Sarah sobs. Leave me alone. And she stays there. We have a other mutant to deal with. And leaving Dogmeat to his fate, we can continue running. I think we were hit by a trap there. Luckily, our armor protects us from traps quite well, surprisingly. We are forced into combat. We are forced to heal. We wish to survive this. Interacting with the elevator, we can head up. First floor. And we are forced out of combat. And then forced back into combat when the robots decide to attack. Yep, so we can use our repair skill to attempt to disable the force field emitter. We temporarily disable it, but we can run through. But we are forced to discover super mutants beyond. And we exit outside. And all the mutants out here turn hostile. And death. Yeah, so escape in, we blow up the base, etc, etc, etc. I will explore that option when we actually manage to succeed doing that option. But we still have one more thing to go. Dismissing our companions once again. We can approach the mutant. We can go. I've come to talk to your master. Okay, let's go.
Oh, this is excellent. You know, I actually doubted my officers when they said they'd captured a prime normal. It is so nice to see you.
Oh, what do you want with me?
Why, when you become one of us, of course. I can't have a perfectly good prime normal and not make it one of the chosen ones, now can I? After you tell me where your vault is.
Tell you? You're almost funny.
We shall see, won't we?
And he attacks.
Feel better now? Since torture is such a crass, yet oddly satisfying and effective technique, I'll ask you once more, nicely. Where is the vault?
And we can go. I'm not telling.
I rather hoped you'd say that.
He hits us again.
How was that? In a more chatty mood? Now, where were we? Oh, of course, the vault.
And we can Finally go. You win. It's across the mountains to the west. I'll draw you a map.
Excellent. I believe you understand. So you're sure you want to tell where the vault is? Torture can be so enjoyable.
Can I ask you a few questions first?
Certainly. We have all the time in the world. Trust me.
What is it you do here?
My dear human, this is the great procreator. Here we'll make others of the master race and ensure the unity. It's all quite glorious, I assure you.
Tell me about the Unity.
The unity is our goal. It is quite simple, really. Certainly, even you have noticed the steady downhill slide of civilization.
Well, yeah, but
The super mutant is the next advancement in human evolution. To save the world, we will convert all the worthy individuals. Simple, efficient, glorious.
so you're making everyone into big, green, ugly mutants to save the world?
Your human mind is rather under-equipped to handle this, so a simple yes will suffice for now. Soon, everyone in the world will be converted, and peace will reign.
But what about free will?
Did you make the choice to be born into this ash-covered world? We, the super mutants, are the best prepared for the world to come. What is free choice compared to life?
Debatable point. But how are you more prepared than normal humans?
Intuitively obvious to the most casual observer. We are highly intelligent and immune to disease. The strong survive. It is our goal to improve the human race.
Pretty lofty goal. How are you made like this?
Ah, the wonders of technology. Before the war, the human scientists made a drug called FEV. It was designed to make the perfect human.
So you're the perfect human?
Better. More than human. I too was once human. Like you, I was a slug wallowing in the mud before being exposed to FEV and undergoing my glorious transformation.
So you're planning on dipping everyone in this FEV?
Exactly. Now you see.
Sure I do. Can I ask you a few more questions?
Certainly, we have all the time in...
Um, who do you work for?
We all work for the Master, to uphold the glory of the unity. He was the first, you see.
How did you come to work for him?
Fate, luck of the draw. I was the strongest of my batch to be dipped in the virus, and I have always supported the ideals of the unity and the Master, for he is right. And for my devotion, I have been rewarded.
Kill at what virus? He says about the Fortune Evolutionary virus, so what's this master like?
He was our guide to the life-giving virus, and he is father to us all. And he so wants to meet you. I hope you're honored.
Oh, where is he?
He's busy with the children of the cathedral. They actually consider us gods. But then, who can blame them?
You think you're gods?
Of course not. We are simply the future.
Well, the future comes. There's a couple of things I'm curious about.
Go ahead, ask your questions. We
What?
are in no hurry.
What do you want me for?
Haven't you figured it out yet? You're a prime normal. Soon you'll be one of us.
Why am I a prime human?
The FEV was mutated by the war radiation. Those living in this desolate wasteland have been exposed to this mutant FEV, essentially inoculating them from the full effects.
So...
So you're from a vault and have limited exposure to this mutated virus. The original FEV in the vats should work quite well on you.
And how do you know this?
We have done extensive experiments on humans to reach this conclusion. My master has been searching for unopened vaults to prove his theories. And now, you've come along. How thoughtful of you.
Well, before that happens, there's a couple of things I'm curious about.
Go ahead, ask your questions. We are in no hurry.
We still have a couple of questions that are locked behind these, so... It sounds like it. Why do you need all this to, procreate?
Presently, there is a slight problem in the reproductive process. It's being attended to. For now, we must use the vats to turn humans into super mutants. You'll experience that glory yourself momentarily.
Oh, goody. A few more questions before I glow.
How could I possibly refuse a request phrased like that?
How about I just leave now?
Going? I believe... Let me check. Why, yes. I almost laughed. How wonderfully humorous. The only place you're going is the vat. But first, you'll tell me where your vault is.
I hope you can take rejection.
We shall see, won't we? Excellent. I believe you understand. So you're sure you want to tell where the vault is? Torture can be so enjoyable.
Yes, I'm sure. And that is a possible ending of Fallout. Luckily, that is not the canonical ending to Fallout. Something that I am attempting to aim for, but whether or not I achieve is a different matter. So we can attempt what we were doing from last episode, where we use help from the Brotherhood of Steel. And so we're arriving at the military base, Brotherhood of Steel in tow. We see 3 crack assault paladins arrive. And we can approach the super mutants. And go in, guns blazing. And with all the mutants taken care of, we can loot the bodies. On which we, on one we find a radio, which we can use. It's squealer static, and you hear a deep voice over the radio. Command to control, command to control. What is your status? Over. And we can go. Help! Unknown attackers! Heavy damage! Coordinates follow! 10. Ah! Roger Patrol, we're sending help now. Hold on. And we gain 1,500 experience points for tricking the mutant guards, which are all dead. Still, we have our crack assault paladins in tow. We have our companions all basically alive. So we can enter. With our companions in tow, but not the crack assault paladins. And so, having dealt with the super mutants at the front door, we can head through the painful force field. Tycho? You see the remains of Tycho. Tycho is following me. I am very concerned here. Curious. Well, still, we can make our way as far as we can in the base. We can arrive at the bottom floor and deal with the computers. We can activate the 3-minute silent self-destruct sequence. Exiting the facility, we can head back to the map. And the military base is destroyed. So, having dealt with the Military Base, we can return to Brotherhood Seal. Speaking to the Elders. Good work with the mutants. We already heard that you destroyed their production facility. Thanks for taking care of that problem for us. No problem. There's no reward for interacting with them. Still, there's a bit more Brotherhood to check. We can speak with Bree.
What can I help you with?
We can ask what's causing all the mutations.
Between the nuclear and biogenic weapons used in the war, it's surprising we don't have more mutations. However, if we can hold out, everything will be okay.
Why do you say that?
All the mutants I've studied have been sterile. They can't breed with another creature. If we could clean up the mutation sources, we should be able to simply outlive the mutants.
Interesting theory. Any proof?
Here, take this holodisc. It's got copies of my autopsies on mutant corpses. It clearly shows that no mutant could possibly reproduce successfully.
Thanks. Reading the autopsy report. Initial observations. This is truly amazing. The Knights and patrolling expedition came across an unusual creature. The creature appears to be humanoid and quite possibly was once of human state. However, there are many differences in the structure of this creature than of normal humans. In the initial investigation of this creature, it is discovered to have a cellular structure akin to that of humans. Before any possible decomposition can take place, I'm taking down the statistics of the subject. Statistics of Subject A. Height, 3.2 meters. Mass, 363.21 kilograms. Gender, indeterminate. Skin color, predominantly grey with tints of green under the current lighting system. Uncertain if this is due to decay or exposure in the wasteland. Note, skin is extremely tough with respect to scalpels. Mass breakdown. Muscle breakdown, 77.41%. Bone mass, 10.23%. Fat mass, 3.02%. Tissue mass, 9.34%. Cellular structure. Cells undergo cellular division at an increased rate. Mitosis occurs at a rate 15% quicker than that of normal humans. Cellular structure appears to be highly similar to humans. Genetic structure shows strong correlation between the subject and Homo sapiens. Possible mutation from the nuclear and biochemical agents remnant from the war. DNA strands appear to be very complete, or recessive genes for ailment appear to have been eradicated from the system. The RNA strands also appear to have been manipulated to allow for a greater transmission of signals. Initial hypothesis. Based on the increased size of the neural transmitters and synaptic receivers, I would hypothesize the subject had acute reflexes and heightened senses. Based on the reports the Knights gave of the area in which the subject was discovered, barren, high radiation, extremely high concentration of chemical agents, it is no wonder the subject survived as long as it did. Performing tests to determine possible cause of death. Results from tests conducted upon subject A. Visual inspection. Black powder burns near the area suggest possible bullets. 1.2 centimeter lacerations upon the calf of the right leg appears to be made by teeth. We'll conduct tests for possible rabies. Skin dried out and flaking, possible exposure. Test result. Radiation count, 12 reds. Rabies test, clean. Hydrochloric gas, clean. Chlorine levels, 0.07%. Sulfuric content, 0.02%. Phase shifting virus, clean. Gamma cyclotronic virus, clean. Forced evolutionary virus B2, severe overdose. Hypothesis. Based on my observations, I would hypothesize the test subject had been killed in a severe fight of at least 2 people and 3 animals the size of dogs. What's truly astonishing is the extent of viral infection in the subject. I had read once that some pre-war scientists were conducting experiments with such a virus, but all the research notes were destroyed. Research into this virus had led to many interesting discoveries. test subject has gained many of its mutations from the overdose of the virus. This would account for the enhanced muscle and bone structure. Additionally, the recessive genes, which are commonly found in humans, have been manipulated in such a way as to bring about the best possible combination. While the process by which this happens is uncertain, it does have some severe side effects. Chief among them is sterility. Test subject would have been unable to reproduce with any creature, whether clean or mutated. Other side effects include an alteration of pigment of the epidermis. The life expectancy is increased by 10%. Intellect is decreased by the strain by 30%. Conclusions. Based on this information, I would extrapolate that we could simply outlive these mutants. However, based on the fact that these mutants have a super high concentration of the virus, it stands to reason that there could be some place which is creating them. As to where they could be, I cannot hazard a guess. There is entirely the possibility of possibly outliving, but we know that based on research at the GLOW, the West Tech Research Center, that they would live forever, so you wouldn't be able to outlive them. Still, well, that's all we have time for at the moment. So we have managed to successfully destroy the Mariposa Military Base. We've discovered a bit of history when it comes to the Brotherhood of Steel. They were originally the military base and came down to Lost Hills. What else? And we've managed to get the autopsy report from Marie. So next time we will be following up on information we found where it seems that whoever the leader of these mutants is thing to do with the children of the cathedral, so we can try to find this cathedral that they're speaking of. And hopefully deal with the end of this mutant menace. So, if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment. If you didn't like this video, comment saying why you didn't like this video. So yeah, I guess I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.